back, and the news says, Northern Nigeria, we, the South, are tired. The truth may taste bitter, but it sets free. I will throw away political correctness and let the North know how the South feels because the North has to sit up and shape up. Today it's Boko Haram, tomorrow it's banditry, yesterday it was confounding mass illiteracy, and no mention has been made yet about the abiding mass obesity of the North. Family resources are being wasted fighting useless fires. The truth is, the South increasingly sees the North like a slothful temperamental brother that has stubbornly refused to go to school and has begun to keep the company of bad gangs. So the North isn't just a laid-back family black sheep. It's now sort of the black sheep that is bringing wolves and troubles to impoverish and imperil the family. And nothing rankles the South more than the fact that the North seems utterly oblivious of its predicaments and their toll on fortunes and future of the family. If the North understood the magnitude of its problems, its leaders will weep every day. The South wants its brother the North to take out time and do some sober reflection in a Pan-Arab village meeting. Their emirs, their generals, their billionaires, their Islamic clerics, so that the North can ask himself soul-searching questions about how he came to such a sorry pass. Because nothing irritates the South more than the fact that the South sees the North every day chasing political shadows instead of chasing its children to school, instead of taking care of its ever-increasing number of young pregnant women. That is very true as well, especially in terms of the culture, as in when it comes to education, the South, they really, you don't have to go have like a formal education. They really know how basic life works. And I think this is the manipulative thing that the government likes, especially when it comes to votes and elections. They like the fact that these people are suffering. They need money for survival, so they would bribe them and automatically get their votes. And when we talk about the North, they are really high in number. The South is amused when he catches the North occupy himself chasing population numbers, disfiguring meritocracy with the quota system and resisting power devolution, instead of taking practical steps to save his children from poverty and illiteracy. Yes, this is how the South feels. I know the North has things to tell the South too. It's normal, but this is how the South feels. The South is not an angel, and the South without its own conspicuous sins. But the South can't understand why a brother beset with so many crippling, self-inflicted wounds could yet be so aloof, so arrogant, so enamored of frivolity. This is the North in the eyes of the South today. The picture of a backward brother in a poor family, the picture of a fat family liability. I promise to tell the whole truth. There is a feeling of disgust that seizes a brother when his own prodigal shortcomings and recklessness threatens to plunge the entire family into turmoil and shame. It solidifies the repugnance, and rather than face his problems, perhaps the brother takes more interest in claiming first-ownership and talking how his brother has lost respect for him, and rebuking sympathizers harshly with reminders about groundnut pyramids and how he was once the prosperous one. The truth is, the South has logged in its own eyes. The South might even suffer from bigotry, but it's indisputable that his brother's slothfulness poses a more immediate calamity to the family. The South wants the North to sit up and zip up, yes, zip up and stop breeding the way our great-grandfathers ignorantly did when there was little else to do than marry and have children. That was probably not true. When we're talking about that, we're probably talking about them being forced to work under the colonizers. So they didn't have little or nothing to do. But obviously, having a lot of children and having a lot of wives was a symbol of, richness, and also it was, common. The extended family lacks the resources to feed 100 million children. To feed 100 million children, and neighbors mock when our scrawny children go plate in hand begging for food. The South wants the North to know how Farid Zakaria painted Nigeria in glorious light a couple of days ago. Nigeria has more percentage of PhD holders in America than China and UK. Nigeria has a higher percentage of bachelor's degree holders in America than every other country. The CNN presenter told the world that Nigeria was rich in quality human resources. That data is Nigeria's, but it is plainly the South's. But because last year Zamfara, with all its puritanism, couldn't get more than 20 students to write in the National Common Entrance exams, it is indeed an abomination. Wow! Out of the whole North, only 20 students. But have you seen any Northern leader weep over this or call it for a jihad to fight educational backwardness and social injustice in the North? So the South wants the North to produce only their children the North can feed and send them to go to good schools. The South doesn't and can't feel safe when his brother's children, rather than become doctors and lawyers, are ending up in droves as angry street urchins. Wow. The South does not know how to say it, but he is fed up with the North dragging the family numbers down. The South wants the North to see Boko Haram and banditry as wolves that can devour the entire family. The South wants the North to hold a village meeting and find a spiritual solution to the wolves. The South knows that his brother has a temper, but he is yet to see that temper unleashed on Boko Haram and banditry. He would like to see one Yerma or one Shin Kafi stand up and issue a fatwa against Shekau and the insurgents, and follow it up by mobilizing 2 million volunteers into Bono, because in actual sense the insurgents have blasphemed God and done incalculable damage to Islam. The South knows the North loves Sharia. It doesn't mind, but it wants the North to open the windows of its mind and excommunicate religious intolerance. That is a very key point as well, because again, they really stick together, especially when it comes to religion, and they would do anything for their religious leader. That is why the knowledge and education there is not rampant. It's not a lot, because they don't know how to be independent in their own situation and also be religious as well. This is why they're manipulated because of their financial circumstance to be put in situations where they have no choice but to vote for bad people to go into the government. I've come to tell the North how the South feels. I didn't come to mince words. The North must discard its pride and face his perilous reality. His farmlands are dying waste because of banditry, while his children roam the streets with chronic malnutrition and preventable diseases. Northern leaders can't be frolicking in Abuja and Kaduna plotting 2023. That is trying to think that a lot of Northern leaders are in the government. It logically doesn't add up, because it's like your people are the most uneducated in the country, and yet you guys are leading the country. That creates a sense of uneasiness. The South knows that it also has some rogues as leaders, but it wants the North to stop scratching and smiling and start treating in earnest the crow of having about the worst set of leaders in a badly governed Africa. Alhamdulillah, God bless the North. And people have their reactions to this as always. And someone says, there is no brotherhood in someone that wants you dead. At the end of the day, Nigeria is a country where it's like you have to stick together because you have no other choice. It's like you don't like this person, but you have to tolerate them and live together. And obviously, if that can't happen, nothing else can happen, because everyone already has their biases, their prejudice in their minds, especially socially, let alone when it comes to governing the whole country, because you want diversity when it comes to power. Someone says, when I read articles like this, I only laugh at fools who say they are born to rule when they cannot even manage their own families. Cowheads. Apparently, the British came through the north and told them that they are born to rule, and so they have that mentality that they are born to rule. So that arrogance, that pride, that they are born to rule, sort of, it makes them look like hypocrites, because it's like the education in their region is the lowest out of the whole country. There you have said nothing but the truth. But remember, it was in the news some days ago that one of their big men said poverty and begging is the culture and tradition of the North. How can you say poverty and begging is your culture and tradition of the North? Like, it's embarrassing at this point where it's your reality is now becoming normal, where it shouldn't be normal. And I'm not surprised why Nigeria needs to separate. At this point, let them just separate, because it's like we need to have this divorce, because it's like they're stealing from you and not benefiting to anything, and drowning you in their problems as well, because of um guilty or looking of being associated because of what they do in the world. Someone says that's why your head is over swollen, you're a coward. Why confessing the death of your partner in Daryl is no more? Well, at the end of the day, it is what it is, and I believe that the North needs to get their thing together. But it's a corrupt country where we don't know what to do. At the end of the day, the country just needs to. The best thing might be that the country needs to separate, because the people in different regions are not even together. Please put what you think in the comment section below, and do not forget to like and subscribe.